people have messaged asking about the HardieBack flooring. Now, HardieBack flooring is very important now when it comes to tiling. The preparation for it, what it's used for, how it's used, and what the benefits are. There's several different types of subflooring that you can put down for tiling. The one that we've got down here is the insulation board. Now, there is a few names out there. Jacko board is probably the most used one, and this one itself is the Jacko board. There's a difference in the thicknesses, which also leads to the insulation thickness as well on the inside of it. Now, I put down 6mm here because, well, we're not really in a cold area, and below here is not really a deep space that would allow wind to generate going through underneath to create the cold spots coming up through the floor. Also the fact we're not putting underfloor heating in this room, but we will be doing in the kitchen, and I will go through all that when we're doing the kitchen. The insulation boards, like I just said, are handy for when you have that access under the floor, be it this height, whatever. Okay, this stops any of that cold spot coming up and feeling it through the tiles, because the tiles, they conduct that cold, they hold that cold in very well, and it's not what you want really, especially in the winter time. So we went with the Jacko board, the insulation board that we put down here. Now, before you put down your floorboards, your insulation boards, sorry, your floorboards have to be checked for movement. Now, this is very important because any slight movement will cause cracking in the tiles, either in the grout or in the adhesive. But you've got several adhesive options: Flexi Set, Flexi Rapid, Flexi Slow Set. There's hundreds of different types of adhesives and grouts out there, and finding that one that's specific for your job is very important. We've gone with a Flexi Slow Set. I use the Slow Set a lot of times because it's easier to work with, and you're not racing against time. You're not going to be making mistakes and then trying to pull off tiles to rectify because you're against the time and the adhesive is setting. Just lots of stuff like that, and also it's less aggressive on your tile tools, because if you get adhesive on it and it's rapid set, most of the time there's no saving it if it goes off on it. Whereas with the slow set, you've got time, you can clean your tools well, and you can crack on with the work. What I did was I checked all the original floorboards in here. Now, they were okay. They weren't too bad, but they were all nailed down. So what I've done is I've gone through where the pipework was, where I've installed, made sure that it was lowered below the joists or halfway down the joists, and then secured all the floorboards then with screws. So you've got no movement, and it pulls it into the actual joist, and it's really secure. Okay, next up, I obviously dry laid all the boards, the Jacko boards. So I had all my cuts ready, and then I mixed floor tile adhesive, put it down on the actual floor itself, but I made sure that the floor was absolutely spotless. Even went over it with a slightly damp mop just to get that bit of dust away from it. I also sprayed a bit of sealer on it as well, so that it doesn't kind of rot the boards from the top anyway. So the adhesive went down, then the boards went down on it. Now, in the help with securing these boards, we put the washers that you can probably see on the floor and screwed down. So they're screwed every 280mm or so on the boards in a square pattern going that way. And obviously your smaller boards, it's less, so it doesn't matter where you screw them. You can do them 100, 150, it doesn't matter. If you've got more movement in the floor than what you expect, reduce the amount of the amount of space between the washers and the screws. it'll really help. What we will be doing after that then is we are going to have to pour self-leveler over this. Reason being is no floor is ever 100% level, and to get a nice decent level and finish on the tiling, this is very important. I can't stress that enough. It's where a lot of people tend to go wrong, because when you open a door and you see a nice straight grout line all the way around the way I've done the battens here for the tiles starting off, you'll see the floor dip slightly, and you'll see that the cut, it gets larger as it goes down. So that's what you want to avoid. So what you do is you will mix self-leveler, put it down, which I will be doing in here, but I'll go through that on another video with you guys. Seal all the edges all the way around, so obviously it doesn't go in and then drop down, and then you've got these small voids. So yeah, that's where we're up to now, and I thought I'd better explain the difference on them. Now, I also use hardy board. Now, there's different types of hardy board out there, and the one that I use is a white one. I tend to only use that in the upstairs of a property on wood flooring. Reason being is heat can travel upwards, well that's what it does anyway, and it will not be cold on that floor because of the heat rise. I wouldn't use it here, obviously, because it's not an insulated board. So that's the two differences there. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow us on Instagram on Renovate and Flip, and we'll see you over there for more tips.